Can't feel my pain, what I had to go through to get here. You'll never understand my praise. Don't try to figure it out. My worship is for real. All the things that I've been through. You can't feel my pain, what I had to go through to get here. Oh, you'll never understand my praise. Don't try to figure it out. Because my worship is. Can we say it again? Because my worship is for real. I've been through too much not to worship Him. I've been through too much to worship. Come on, lift it up. I've been through too much. Come on. I've been through too much. I can't afford to worship Him. I've been through too much. I've been through too much to worship Him.
Good morning, and welcome to Dear Life After. I am Rosalind Long, your host. Listen. Are you rocking and rolling with us? If you're rocking and rolling with us, then go ahead and make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube page, okay? That means that you're rocking and rolling with us. And listen, you still have time to do what? Go ahead and invite somebody to join us here live today, because you do not want to miss it. I know you could be doing so many other things, but I'm glad you decided to spend this time with us. But we're not going to waste any time today, because I don't know about you, but the intro song it put me in a different place today. I don't know about you, but I've been through too much not to worship Him. I don't know, but has He done anything for you? If you are logged on with us on today, He's done something for you, because you're here. You're above the ground and not under it. So get ready, sit back, and get ready, because this dynamic guest that we have on today, are you ready? Get ready for the special guest, Gerald Person.
Amen. God bless you. How you doing?
I am doing wonderful. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. I cannot complain about anything.
Good. Because what? Oak Cliff in the house, right?
We in here.
I'm not going to hold it against
right.
you that you went to South Oak Cliff and not the mighty Mustang, but that's okay.
Well.
Hey. I understand. Yes. But listen, so we do not want to delay anything on today. We're just going to jump right into it, right?
Of course.
Yes. So listen, so on today, I know we talked and we had a conversation in regards to, I just kind of want you to tell a little of the background. You mentioned to me that you had dealt with illiteracy.
Yes.
And so as a business owner, as a, somebody in business, how were you able to overcome, so to speak?
Well, being a business owner, I tell anybody it's not for the weak. or anything like that. It's not for somebody that's just, you think you want to do it, because it's extremely hard. Um, because, with me being a very gifted young man, because I still consider myself young. I still
Hey,
consider myself young. With me being a gifted young man, life's trials and struggles, being not able to read and spell very well, it's not like I can't, because I can. But
okay,
in some areas, I do struggle. And that's where it comes in, where I have, a great tribe. I call them a tribe, great people around me that will assist, that will help me to understand, what's
right.
going on, or either more or less, or either what is this talking about, or either what are they talking about? Because sometimes people will say stuff to me, I have no clue what they're talking about. But if you give me a little time, I can figure it out, you know.
Okay, okay, okay. So, how has that affected your ministry?
It has not affected me in ministry as far as like preaching, anything like that. I still travel. I still travel the world and preach the gospel, stuff like that. It has not affected me. I'm still able to pick up the Bible and read. And I'll be quite honest with you, are there some passages that I cannot preach because I don't know what they're talking about, or I cannot understand it? Yes, there are. Because I said, because in just being real about it, I don't understand what they're talking about. And it's like sometimes I'll try to figure it out, but in my mind, because I struggle with adult illiteracy and sometimes ADHD, my understanding is not there sometimes. You know,
Okay,
my understanding is not there sometimes. But however, what I don't do is I don't let it stop me. I never let it stop me. I've gotten up and preached in front of thousands of people, and nobody never knew it, that I was struggling with such a thing. Nobody never knew it or anything like that, and nobody never know that I struggle with certain things, or I'm struggling with that. If I don't tell you, you won't know it, because I carry myself so well, and I carry myself. I try to be intelligent as much as I possibly can. You know.
right, right, right. Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And we know that, obviously to whom much is given, much is required. And so we know
that's right.
that, God equips us. Um,
Hmm.
so whatever the message is that he has for you to give, obviously he's going to give you the understanding,
Yes.
uh, of
Hmm.
that, that, so in your business, because I know you actually own a couple businesses, correct?
Yes, I do. Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, did that affect anything in your life, with the children? Because I know that you're a father and things of that
Yes.
nature.
Hmm. It affected some things with my kids, because of some traits that I do have. It flowed down to my kids. Like learning disabilities and stuff like that. It flowed down to my kids. But even with that, I spend a lot of time with my kids, even though we're not in the same household or anything like that. I talk to them every day. I spend a lot of time with them. I hang out with them. I go to places that they want to go. And sometimes I don't even want to go, but it's what they want to do. I'm just being serious. It's what they want to do. And I had to learn, if I wanted to keep that relationship going, I had to adapt. I had to be able to adapt. Like my oldest daughter, that's all she want to talk about is her. Stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I ain't got no hair, baby, but I talk about it. I talk about it. That's fine. I'll listen to you. And my youngest daughter, she likes to talk about college, and college and boys. That's what she wants to talk about, and I listen. You know what I mean? So it's just some stuff I'm not really that interested in, but because I have such a great relationship with my kids, I listen. Have my oldest daughter, she used to work for me, and even with them, they the same way. They don't let it stop them. They don't let it stop them. It actually makes them work harder. It makes them go harder, and with me as well. It makes me work harder. It makes me not want to give up, stuff like that. And to the point to where some people would give up, I probably would.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, uh, how did you come about finding out? Because, like, explain to the to the viewers, exactly,
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
the adult literacy is, and how you find out that you were in this situation.
Well, adult illiteracy is, sometimes a person's comprehension may be slow, and or else you would be labeled as slow. And I say, to
Is
be
this
quite honest
slow?
with you, that's yeah, for real, they do. People label you as slow, and that's and
Okay.
that's and that's definitely not the correct verbiage to use, because it may come off as offensive. It don't offend me because I know that that's what it is with me. I know that I'm slow in some areas. But when I learned that I was, I struggled with adult illiteracy when I was probably maybe the fifth grade, because I struggled with, I used to be epileptic. I grew out of that. So the things that a lot of kids they got taught when they were in school, I wasn't able to get taught those things because I was always sick. So
Okay.
as far back as I can remember is the age of maybe 10 years old. Anything after that, I can't remember. I can't remember because of seizures, like the jerking seizures, like that, those kind of seizures that will basically like wipe your memory. So I don't have seizures anymore. I don't struggle with that. Thank God for deliverance. But
Mhm.
um, that's where it happened. I believe it happened right there. That's like,
Okay.
when people they want to learn certain things, and you're not able to go to school, you're not able to learn or anything like that because your mother and your father, they didn't know what to do with the situation. And that's true. My mother and my father, they didn't know what to do with the situation. They knew that something was going on, and they just didn't know how to deal with it. But one of the things that I see when I know somebody that struggles with adult illiteracy, one of the traits is you'll have a bad attitude. I don't have a bad attitude. I used to. Again, thank God for deliverance. But
Okay.
somebody can have an extremely bad attitude. That's one of the traits. That's one of
Okay.
the traits, because and it is. It's like you're trying to hide something. You're trying to cover it up, and you don't want
Oh
nobody
yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
You don't want
Defense
nobody to
mechanism.
know that you struggle with that or you deal with that. So therefore, everybody that you come in contact with, you're gonna try to overtalk them. You're gonna try to fight them. You're gonna try to down talk them as far as much as you possibly can to get them away from you, because you don't want them to hurt you. See, that used to be me, but again, thank God for deliverance. You know, and I've learned how to guard my peace.
Hey, but I think you've kind of have placed a label on yourself that doesn't
Hmm.
belong. Because when I look up illiteracy,
Hmm.
it tells me that it is the inability to read or write. Well,
Hmm.
you
Yes.
don't have the inability to read or write because you're able to read and write. There are some things that you
Yeah.
can't understand, comprehend, so to speak.
Hmm.
Uh, so I think that you have placed a label on yourself that doesn't
Hmm.
belong. Uh,
Hmm.
and that's probably why, what I'm saying, God has continued to move in your life and do things because
Yeah.
you're walking around with something that ain't yours.
Hmm. That makes sense. That makes a
Uh,
lot of sense.
yeah. I mean, and I know some people, really and truly, there are people who cannot read,
Who
uh,
cannot?
who cannot.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
and you actually can
Yeah.
read. So, there are different levels of of it, and so
Hmm.
it's almost like it's more of a learning disability, so to speak, because you can read, but you're saying that you
Hmm.
can't comprehend some things
Mm-hmm.
that you read. You don't understand them.
Yeah.
Uh, and so some people might
Mm-hmm.
consider that a level of illiteracy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
you do have the capability of being able to read, and I think that should
Mm-hmm.
encourage people, our viewers, to know that you can't let you know our inability to do things on the level of
Yeah.
someone else stop you from what you're going to do in
Yeah.
life.
That's right.
You know, uh, and I know
That's right.
I was just telling you, and probably maybe next weekend we'll try to come out. We love a good burger, so
Mm-hmm.
so we're gonna try to make that our lunch spot maybe for next week, because to have a successful business or
Yeah.
businesses,
Mm-hmm.
and being able
Yeah.
to function in life, should
Yeah.
be definitely encouragement to other people of, what can be done. Um,
That's right.
how do you think,
That's right.
your faith play a role
Mm-hmm.
in the things that you do in life?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
definitely right. And I mean, I have this thing about me that absolutely won't give up. And if it cannot be done, it's because God don't want me to have it. You know what I mean? If I can't do it, if I cannot accomplish it, chances are either God has something else for me, or either He just don't want me to have it, and He has, better yet, so to speak, He just has something else that's better for me. You know what I mean? And that's something
Mhm.
that I teach my kids. If you can't do it, chances are God has something better for you. God has something better for you. It can be obtained, but maybe just not in this season of your life.
And I think that's something that the viewers need to really, zone in on, because so often in life, we have these things that we want to do. Oh, we want to do this. I will do
Yeah,
this, and I
yeah,
think it's hard
mhm,
to accept that, what, when it's not, things are not falling in place, that it just means, like you said,
mhm,
that God says, what, not right now.
yeah, yeah. Not right now.
This
That's
is
right.
not the season. This is not what I have for you right now.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And it's a
Yeah.
lot of times it makes it hard for people to accept no. Especially when God tells you no, because we think that He's the gift giver, and quite naturally He is. But God, He's a knowing all God. He's a seeing all God. He can see further than we'll ever be able to see, and He'll know further than what we'll ever think we know. And the thing about it is, when God tells us no, you got to know that is a yes is right around the corner. It took me some time to learn that, but I had to learn. You know,
Well, but I think it goes back to, He tells us, I know the plans I have for you,
that's right.
you
That's
know.
right.
And so when we truly, listen and understand and try to live the word out, then
That's right.
then it's like, okay, it's like,
Hmm.
what you got for me. Like, I thought this is what I wanted to do, but obviously this
That's
is not what you would have me to do. So
that's right.
I'm going to be okay with that, because obviously that's not your will for my life.
Mhm. That's right.
And that's what
And
matters
that's
at the
definitely
end of
right.
the day, is His will.
Hmm.
Because we be wanting a
Hmm.
whole lot of stuff, probably some crazy stuff. He probably be like, for real? Is that what you thought?
Really? That's what you want? That's what you want to do? Really? You don't know where this going to get you. You don't know. You don't know this. That's yeah. And it took me some time to learn that concept. I had to learn to really be honest with myself about a lot of things, in life, a lot of things with business, a lot of things in ministry, a lot of things dealing with my kids, just a lot of stuff. I had to learn how to be honest with myself and learn how to tell myself the truth and stop
Oh,
lying to myself. I had to learn that. Stop
listen.
lying to yourself. Learn how to tell yourself the truth. And when I learned how to tell the truth to myself. And it was like immediate. God came to my rescue immediately. Yeah.
You know what? Somebody out there needs to hear this. Stop lying to yourself.
For real.
Tell
Yeah.
yourself the truth.
Tell
Tell
yourself the
yourself the
truth.
truth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That's right.
because
Tell
that's
yourself
it.
the truth.
Because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, he already knows. So who are we pretending for?
Of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. For real. I'm serious. I had to learn that. Even with my so-called learning disability, I had to tell myself the truth. Say, man, listen, you struggling with this, and you know you is. Say, man, you know these people don't want you around because you're able to see in their life. These people don't want you around because you're gonna get around them and automatically you're gonna pick up their stuff. You're gonna pick up on their stuff. You're gonna see their business. People don't want to be around people like that. I'm sorry, I was born that way. I can't help it. You know, I had to learn that why I ain't got no friends or either why they don't want me around because you see in their life. That's why.
Oh, listen,
You
listen,
can see their
listen.
life. That's why they don't want you around. Yeah.
And you know what? And that's the thing right there is because we are so often we have a mask on,
Yeah.
uh, and we're showing up, as somebody else, or think we're hiding something
Yeah.
from somebody because we don't want Susie to know that I was molested as a child, or we don't want Susie to know that
Yeah.
I went to prison. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
God knows all and sees all. So,
Yeah. Hmm.
and our lives, our trials, the things that He has brought us through are testaments of His glory.
That's right. That's right. That is definitely right.
Because it's not something that we were able to do on our own.
No.
We
Mm-mm.
were able to do it because in our weakness, He showed up.
Hmm. That's right. That's right. In our weakness, he
Yes,
showed up. He didn't have to. He didn't have to, but he did. He didn't have to deliver us, but he did. That's right. Yep.
listen.
You're so right.
Listen, I don't know about you, but I be, when we start talking about that, and I be thinking about, what He delivered this little old girl from Oak Cliff. He didn't have to do any of the things that He
Yeah.
did
Mm-mm.
for
Yeah.
me.
Same way. Same way. He delivered this little boy from Oak Cliff that used to be on drugs, that was a whoremonger, that was on crack cocaine, that was I said that was in gangs, that was in and out of jail, that was carjacking, that was breaking in people's houses, all of that type of stuff. And then when
Oh,
I
you
tell people
mm,
stuff like that, they don't believe it. I'm like, well, whatever. That was on probation for 15 years for attempted murder. You know, when I tell people stuff like that, they don't believe it. I'm like, well, you ain't got to believe it. I was the one who did it. And I know I did it. So, because
you
again, I had this bad attitude. Yeah.
listen. You- and,
Yeah.
and and that in itself, when you think about all of those things that you just named and think
Yeah.
about where you are in life now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
anybody didn't hear that list and don't believe that there's a God.
He's very much real. He's very much real. He's very much real. And I had to, come to a point in place where I had to surrender myself and give up on myself and stop trying to hold on to myself and let God be God in my life. Mm-mm. Yeah. It's a lot.
He, he's amazing. I mean,
Yes.
there's
Mm-hmm.
no. It makes you speechless because he's just that great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because there's probably somebody that's listening that have been on drugs
Yeah.
and doesn't know what the other side of that looks like.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
but here you
Yeah.
sit, you
Yeah.
know, a owner of multiple businesses, have overcome so many other things in your life
Of course.
and
Of
and
course.
trusting and standing on the promises of God.
Yes.
Because,
Hmm.
you know, I've never been on drugs, but I've
Hmm.
had family members. So just knowing, the going through with them and how that was, uh,
Yeah. It's a lot.
it's
It's a
a
lot.
it's it's a journey,
It is. It is.
you
Hmm.
know.
It is. It's a journey. It's not easy. It's not easy. Nope. It is not easy. And I mean, and all of that, everything that I went through, it was fueled by because I wanted attention. It was fueled by because I wanted attention. I wanted somebody to see me. I feel like didn't nobody love me, so I did what made me feel good. I did what gave me a adrenaline rush, and everything that I did, it gave me a adrenaline rush, and it made me feel good. But it got me in some places where I wish I had never went. But it happened, and I can't change that. Hmm.
So you felt like you weren't loved. You felt like nobody saw you.
Yeah.
And so, what things do you happened in your childhood that made you feel that way?
Uh, as far back as I can remember, because of epilepsy, and again, I don't struggle with that anymore. As far back as I can remember, not feeling loved from my mother and my father, not feeling loved and not getting the attention that I felt like I deserved from my mother and my father, because I grew up kind of hard and I grew up a little rough. And um because my father, as a man, he didn't really teach me a whole lot. I still love my father. He's still with us. I love my father. I talk to him just about every other day as well. The only thing my father taught me was, son, just work hard. That was it. Son, just work hard and make all the money you can work and make all the money you can make. Excuse me. And as far as like how to treat a woman, my dad didn't teach me that. How to conduct yourself when it comes time to take care of business. My dad didn't teach me that. It's a lot of things that I wanted my dad to teach me, but he didn't. Am I upset at him, or do I hate him, or do I dislike him? No, I don't, because he did the best he could. He did the best he could, and he did what he knew what was right. And that's I saying that, and I had to learn that, and it took some time. It was some years that I was angry with him, but I had to learn, man. Say he did the best he could. You grown, you grown now. Let's move on from that. And don't hold that against him, because he did the best he could. He did what he knew what was right. And that's all, you can ask.
So were your parents together? Were you raised by both your parents in the same home?
No, I was not.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
was not. If I can remember, I think my mother and my father, they separated when I was 10 years old. I think so. I think I was maybe 10, maybe 13, around in there somewhere. They separated, and during that time, and then my mother, she took over, and then it was like a every other weekend, if not every weekend thing. I would go hang with my father, and
Okay.
yeah, pretty much that's what that was.
Okay. So one of the viewers says, when did you decide to make changes in your life and why?
When did I decide to make changes in my life, and why? I decided to make changes in my life because I seen it wasn't getting me anywhere, and I seen that if I didn't make changes in my life, I probably would be dead. I probably would
Mm.
be dead right now, or somebody would have murdered me, or I probably would have been in jail, in prison for a very long time. Because of the things that I used to do and how I used to treat people and stuff like that. And why I changed, because of my oldest daughter stepped in my life. My oldest daughter, she showed up. She's 24 years old right now. And I thank God for her. And if she had not showed up, I probably be dead and gone, because I didn't want her to see the man. I didn't want her to see the man, or either grow up with a father that way, knowing that I didn't grow up with I didn't grow up without a father. I want her to have everything that I did not have, and that's why she's spoiled right now. So that's why she's spoiled right now. That's why she called me Daddy. Can I have? Yeah, baby. Here, give you here more and more. Here, take it. But I said, but it was a lot of that. It just made me change, because the number one, God stepped in my life also. God stepped in my life, and I seen the progress, and I seen the rewards that I would get, and that I would receive if I would continue to surrender and obey God. And now, the older I got, I'll obey God at all costs now, even if it make me look crazy. I'll do it.
Ooh, I know. Isn't it something you be like, but God, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. And I'm like, no, Lord, they gonna look at me like this. Do it, son. Do it, or either he'll continue to make it just come back to your spirit, and then you're like, all right,
Yes.
okay, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Trust me.
But I knew that I had to change. If I did not change, um, I probably would be in jail, or I probably would somebody would have killed me, or either I probably would have committed suicide. Yeah, something.
Well, as the old people say, jail or hell.
Jail or hell, you take your pick. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Take your pick. Take your pick, people.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
and that's what, that's what we like to we like the viewers to understand, you
Yes.
know, how it could have been so different, and how, we're grateful that the things that happen for us in our lives, happen. And having the positive outlook on life, and
Yes.
the attitude, I tell people all the time, sometimes, when we're going through things, people can become, bitter in regards to, because they feel like, well, why me? Well, why not?
Why not you?
Why
If you could
not
tell
you?
me a reason why not you, okay. Yeah,
Why not you? And
exactly.
what I have come to learn in my walk, uh, in spiritual maturity, is that there's something. If God allows something to happen, whether it's because we made a bad decision, a bad
Yeah,
choice, that even at that, so He's allowed all this to come about. There's something that He needs you to be able to obtain from that situation. Now,
yeah,
you might not want to obtain it because you don't want to go through that. Well, you should have thought about that when you made that little decision that you shouldn't have
yeah,
been making.
yeah. That's true, and that's very true.
Because that's what happened, is that we don't want to be accountable for our decisions and choices that we make in life. And so, whether
Hmm.
they're good choices or bad choices, there is a consequence
Yeah,
for it, regardless. So, whether that is a good circumstance that's going to happen, or one that's not so good,
yeah.
regardless, there is going to be one attached to the decision that you
Sure.
make.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you have to think about things before you do it. Yeah,
Well, and that's the difference too in this society, this age, these young people now, is that they don't think about things. They automatically react
yeah.
to things, and nobody wants to stop and think about, okay, well,
That's
listen,
true.
okay, well, how am
Yeah.
I going to handle this? What is the best way? They
Hmm.
just do whatever first thing come to mind,
Yeah.
that impulse, and then worry about it later. Well, there are some things that are so much harder to get out of than it is to get in them.
Man, who you telling? It's easy to get into it, but it's hard to get out. That's right.
Right.
Especially when you're having fun. When you're having fun, they feel good to you. Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. And that's the
Yeah.
that's the thing, is that we have to understand, is that, that's why we have to be more in tune with our spirit man versus our
Yeah.
flesh, so
Yeah.
that we're operating differently, so that we make different decisions. And don't get me
That's
wrong,
right.
and that's always the harder part in life for everybody, for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's easy to say,
That's
okay, well,
true.
yeah, okay. Yeah. It's easy to say, okay, yeah, let's go on and rob this bank, because you got some money problems, you got some stuff going on, and you just like, okay,
Yeah.
well, what am I going to do? You feel like there
Yeah.
is no way
Hmm.
out,
Yeah.
you know? And sometimes, out the way out is it's him. It's surrendering
Yeah.
it to him because he wants you to quit thinking that you in charge, that you can make
Exactly.
it, that you really have done something.
Exactly. Exactly. And as a man, I had to learn that. I had to learn that it's been times, even now, it's been times when, you want to do something and God don't even want you to have nothing to do with it. And you be trying to do it, trying to do it, trying to do it. And every stumbling block that can come in your way is right there. It's right there waiting for you. Every time you try this, you try to make the phone call, they don't even pick up the phone. You try to make the phone call, oh, they busy. Or you try to reach out to them, the email don't even work anymore. So it's just it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
Mhm.
It is. It is. It
Mhm.
is. So, what would you tell that young person that is carjacking, that is on drugs, that is doing those things that gonna lead to a not
Mhm.
so nice life? Because I think that so often, our young people,
Mhm.
prison, jail is nothing to them almost. It's like a
Yeah.
badge of honor or something. And I'm gonna tell you something.
It
Don't
ain't.
get me wrong. I had a total different experience in prison than a whole lot of
Mhm.
people probably have encountered. However,
Mhm.
it's not a badge of honor, uh,
Yeah.
and it's not a path
Hmm.
that you should want for yourself.
And
Who
it's
wants
not.
somebody to tell you when you can get up, when you need to be dressed? I mean, when you can go eat. I mean, who wants to
Yeah. Who wants that? Who wants
who
that?
wants that?
It's not a good feeling. Tell you when you can take a shower, go to bed, get up, eat this. Don't eat that. No, you can't have that. Man, please. Man, I'm grown. You can't tell me what to do. Yeah. It's that's how it is. And I would tell, a young individual, say, man, don't do that to yourself. Let's slow down and let's think about this. Slow down, let's think about this. If you do it, what is that going to prove to you? And what is that going to prove to everybody else? And in that same note, how would that make your mom and your father feel? Knowing they got a son or a daughter in prison that they can't touch, or if they do touch, or if they do feel or whatever is limited. Do you really want that? Do you really want to be in jail for the rest of your life? Do you really want to be on death row? Do you? Because it could possibly happen. You have to, you have to really think about your decisions. Do you want to see the day when you have kids of your own? If you go to jail, you may not get a chance to see that. You know, I would just tell them, and it's been times when I've had chances and opportunity to talk with young men and young women in their early 20s. And some listened, some didn't. But I strictly told them, slow down. Let's look at this picture. Let's pay attention to what's going on, and let's see if that's something that you really want to do. And if you do it, this is where it's going to get you. Is that what you want? And the answer is always no. And some answer is, man, I don't care because shoes, I need what I need. Okay, that's where it's gonna get you. Hey, shoot, I got to do
That's that
this right here
street.
for
That's
my
that
family.
street. That's that
The
street
street.
cred.
Say, man,
Yeah.
shoot, I got to do this right here. This the way I rock. I'm like, all right, but it's gonna get you this way. Man, shoot, I'm a G. Okay. All right. I thought I was too. Okay. Try to kick your teeth out your mouth. We'll see what happened here. Because yeah, that happened to me too. You know, stuff like that. You know, so you know how did that make you feel? You know, no. Mm-mm.
Well, not only that, when you think about the things that are going on in the world today with all the the shootings of our African American people, and not just the killings of our men. Of course, we have the ladies. The latest one. The Sonia Massey.
Yeah,
We have the George Floyds and all of these people. So when you don't even have to have committed a crime to
yeah,
come in encounter with the law, and your life is taken. So just
yeah,
long as the people who are doing something, but you got the people who aren't doing something, and heard this happens. So you would
yeah,
think that you want to have as least possible to
yeah.
do,
Hmm.
with the law enforcement.
Yeah. You would think that you don't want to have no parts of that, or you don't want nobody beating you or anything like that. I mean, at the end of the day, man, the way that I see it, you don't want your mother and your father seeing you like that. You just don't. You just don't. And one thing that it's another thing that made me really turn around when I went to jail one time. I can't remember what I went to jail for, but it was a young lady that was working down there that I went to high school with, and she was in a room down there in Lou Sterrick where they make you take off all your clothes. And I went to high school with her, and she saw me like that. I was so embarrassed. I was like, "This is it right here." I said, "No, no." I
Yeah,
said, "No,
yeah, yeah.
because most people don't know that you go to Lou Sterrick, they got a room for you where you're gonna take off all your clothes. You gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
You
You
you you're
go do it.
gonna do it.
You're
You
gonna
gonna
do it.
do it if you don't want to or not. Okay, you keep standing there. I promise you, they got a couple of people that'll come here if you take off them clothes, and you gonna do it. Yep. And she was one of the ones that was standing there. I was like, dang man, she gonna go back and tell somebody. Da 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 da. But I was like, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's time to be straightened up, man. All right, yeah, it's time
Time
to be
straight
straightened
up.
up. Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to end with a couple of questions here. So, we have one. Who's failing our younger generation today? Is it home, school, church, social media?
Well, I would say that's a good question. I would say it's a lot because I would say it would start at home first. I would say it would start at home first. I would say that, nowadays social media is the mother and the father,
Oh,
because a lot of kids, they keep their phone in their face. This right here, this,
yes.
they do that. And, I understand, that's their language. They like to text. That's their way of communication. Text. Now my kids, I don't do that. They'll text me when they know I'm busy, and I tell them I'm busy. I said, but far as like always texting, no, you get on the phone with me and to call me. But I think it's a lot of that. It starts at home with the mother and the father, and if a son can get his father to embrace him or his mother to embrace him and show him the love and affection that he needs, I believe a lot of it would stop. I believe a lot of it would stop, and then also that's when you have to allow that individual to surrender their hearts to God, but also he needs to see his mother and his father doing it as well.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, because now some people say when you say surrender your heart, some people think, well, now I got to be holier than thou. I didn't say that, and that's not what I'm saying because I'm not holier than thou. I still make mistakes. I still mess up in some areas and stuff like that I wished I wouldn't have did right now today. But I'm heading that way. I'm heading that way. I ain't doing what I used to do, and sure don't look like what I used to do. But I think
Yes.
I believe there's a lot of stuff. It starts at home.
Yeah, definitely start at home because when we grew up, our parents, and if not our parents, our grandparents
Yeah,
took us to church. So there was a
yeah,
foundation laid
hmm
for us. Whereas now the younger generation, well, they younger, the grandmamas is 40.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so there's a
And
difference.
they'll tell you. And they'll tell you, well, I don't feel like going to church. And they'll quickly say, okay, then, all right. No, we didn't have no choice. Either you going to church or you finna get this whooping. So I guess I'm gonna go to church now because I don't want no whooping. Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It was a different mindset
yeah, it
in the
was. Yeah,
generation that we were raised
yeah,
in. That's definitely for
mhm,
sure. Yeah, it
yeah.
was the totally different mindset. So yeah. So okay. So well, I really appreciate your time
Of
coming out
course,
uh,
of
and
course,
share your story, to encourage somebody
of
else
course.
to know uh, that we don't have to look like what we've been through, what God has brought us
That's
through.
right.
Uh,
That's right.
because so often people will look at you and say, "Oh, well, you don't look like you've been to prison. You don't look like you did that."
Yeah,
Uh, because
yeah,
God is just that great
yeah.
to where we don't have to look wore down and
Mm-mm.
all those other things because we've been through some stuff, because then
That's
that
true.
would not be a testament of his glory if we were
That's right.
downtrodden, you know
That's right.
and that's
I
why I
agree.
tell people, like, you around moping and acting like it's the end of the world. But if
Hmm.
you serve God, if you know anything about him, you know,
Hmm.
then you ought to hold your head up high and put that
That's
smile
right.
on your face, because knowing that whatever it is temporary, that it is not, it is not permanent, because when you believe in him, hey, you can do all, it says you can do all the things. And it say
That's right.
some of them, it is, I can do a few of
Yeah,
them.
all of it.
It says I can do all of
All of
them.
it.
All
That's
of
right.
them. You know what I'm saying? Because as
Hmm.
long as you let him strengthen you, and
Yes.
knowing that he knows the plans that he has for
That's
your
right.
life,
That's
to
right.
prosper
That's
you,
right.
you know what I'm saying, a better future, not to harm you. That, listen, when I think about
Hmm.
all those things, listen, hey, I could just go on and on about,
Hmm.
knowing and just being so humble to the fact that, you know what, he chose little old me, a little girl
Yeah.
from Oak Cliff,
Yeah.
that didn't know that she would be here. But I promised him, you know, those years when I was using my mouth, my words to do things that I had no business doing in life,
Yeah.
that if he delivered me, that I would use it for him.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah,
Same here.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So it's no feeling better than knowing
Hmm.
that he loves you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That is so
yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So again, thank you so much for coming on and
Mhm.
sharing.
Most definitely.
We
Most definitely.
we pray that whoever was supposed to hear this on today, you know what I'm saying, whether that's now live or whether that's on the replay or whether that's with somebody sharing it or whatever
Mhm.
that is, that we know that God is going to make sure that that right person will
That's right.
hear, uh, and that their life will be different because they know what God can do. You know,
That's right.
again, we thank you so much for that. Uh, and
Hmm.
if anybody wants to, you also have your own podcast. They can follow you at www.dallasonair.com. You will
Hmm.
actually be
Yeah.
live today at 2:30. Is that correct?
Yes, at 2:30. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At 2:30. And of course, hey, go and check out the restaurant Burgerlicious. Uh,
Oh yeah. Yep.
okay. Uh,
Hmm.
as I said, I haven't gotten a chance to go, but me and Aunt Betty and them, we're gonna try to get on over there next week and get us some good burgers, uh, so that we
Thank
can
you.
check it out, and I'll go live from Burgerlicious so that
You
everybody
can,
can see us
most
eating our
definitely.
great burger. So everybody can see us eating our great burgers.
I know that's right.
Yes, 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 yes. And if anybody wants to sow into this ministry, please, you can cash out or you can zealous. This is a ministry, and the podcast doesn't air for free. So it does take money for podcasts, is whomever podcast it is,
Yeah.
uh, to be able to be produced. And so we appreciate anything. If you have someone who wants to share their story, please have them to email us at dearlifeafter@gmail.com. Uh, we always want to be able to uh, give our viewers what God has for them. And so if that's you, then go ahead and reach out to us directly so that we can set you up and get you on the schedule so that someone can hear your story as well. Also, we have so many other podcasts on the Lonnie B and Company network uh, as well as we have motivation moments with Greg Bloomfield every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join us. And then we have morning tea with Lonnie B Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Then we have motivation moments multivitamin B on Thursdays with Greg Bloomfield at 7 p.m. Then we have Word on Wednesday Bible study at 7:30 p.m. with the Victorious Victory International Church. And then we have our Refine Conference coming up on August the 24th at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with the host Emmanuel Kusimo. And then we have the Mrs. virtual conference on August the 24th as well with Dr. Amanda Randolph, which is the guest. You don't want to miss these amazing things. And of course, on Saturdays, we have none other than myself, Rosalind Long with Dear Life After. I will also be a guest on You and the Law podcast on Thursday, August the 8th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're talking about women of color behind prison walls.
Oh,
So
that's
with Chief Virgil Green and Chief Keith Humphrey. So please log on. You don't want to miss it. Again, that is going to be on Thursday, August the 8th. And again, we thank you so much for spending your time with us on today. And as I always say, make it a great day on purpose.
that's right.